think it was like ex-drunken Mexican. Because I know I reported like 3 things that night because he kept doing stupid stuff. Then I decided that's not good enough. So I hop in the Warthog on Valhalla. I'm like, dodge my sniper rifle bullet. You're not going to dodge my car. So I start driving. And I'm just going, guy tries to shoot me, get out of the Warthog. Back in. Grab that dog the way it was supposed to be. Driving up. Guy's there. Boom. Doesn't jump. Doesn't dodge. Just isn't there anymore. Now I'm angry. Come on in, guys. So I get onto the turret of the Warthog and have my friends cover me. Spin around and go. On him. He's not dying. I'm like, boom, dead. I run and I get the automatic missile launcher. And I run after him. Finally, he doesn't die again. Report. Player. Bad. Cheating. Please don't stand in front of the door. Mr. Gopher, you're supposed to watch that. Or staff person. No, no, no. Where you were standing was fine. Okay, you can leave. Where you were standing wasn't. Just stand inside the room.
Come in.
You? Oh, look. Not here. Could have just asked. Have a nice day. You're not listening anymore. Oh, we're not so funny. But they do. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So, we covered cheating. We're going to cover cheating again when we hit the new generation. Then, Nintendo had its first competitor. No one. And Nintendo had its last competitor. Sony. And now Sony doesn't even pretend, likes to pretend Nintendo doesn't even exist.
And the DSU still has.
Oh, no, no. They promised 10 years. In all fairness, they kept their end of the deal.
But they said it's going to go longer.
No, no. They promised 10 years, and it's, at the end of this year, they've got no more new games. I work in GameStop too. I have a nice list, and I talk to the Sony rep. Now, that first generation was full of win. I can't deny what he just said.
First Mega Man game.
Mega Man rule. So, let's evolve. Let's go 16-bit. Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And Sega. Okay, let's try that again. Who said woo for Sega? Were you a Sega person instead of Super Nintendo person?
I was a Sega kid.
Uh-oh. What? You did it now. You did it.
Look, man. Mind you, I was a Super Nintendo kid. Because I was a Nintendo kid.
Natural enemy.
But I owned the Sega. Because by that age, I had already believed video gaming was not about war. It was about winning them all. Which is why, at that age, the first part of video gaming that really touched my heart came in. I got to go to the Blockbuster tournament. And I won at my store. And then I realized my dad didn't want to have to drive outside the area of my store, because he thought I was just going to lose. I found the parents who don't like video games. My dad, to this day, somehow regrets and loves the fact he got me into video games. Why? They taught me how to read. Better than books. Final Fantasy taught me how to read. I'm sorry, I didn't know they were building me a bridge at first. I had to learn how to read to understand. He built you a bridge. I killed the bad guy. Screw you!
Get the loot.
You're not taking it like a man if you're covering anything. Now, we go on to the Super Nintendo, which was full of wind. Came with the Super Scope. The most ridiculous and repulsive light gun ever.
That's still one of the most amazing.
However, it is still awesome to run around with the Super Scope on your shoulder like this. That's the only thing the thing was ever good for, because any game it was for, little.
The original when I played it, the actual games.
That's the other thing. Super Scope 6. When I was a kid, 6 meant there were 5 before it. And then the Holy Grail came out, the Lost Levels.
Yes.
Then Poison Mushrooms came, and I said, screw Mario forever. Super Nintendo also brought in the first age of high-end graphics by upgrading the chips in the cards. First time anybody had said, oh, we're going to do not only this, we're just going to say, well, we can see, we're going to push the limits of our system by going to the next level without making a new system. Something they forgot how to do in this day and age. Oh, sorry, Sony forgot how to do it. Somehow Nintendo's still pulling it off. Their Wii sucks when it comes to graphic capabilities, but sometimes it looks better than what's on the Sony. I'm like, how? 489 versus 720. And bad Sony. Now, about that age is when Nintendo games started getting turned into computers. They would be put on computers. I had my first emulator at the end age of right around 64, I think. It was my first emulator. Right when 64 was coming out is when I got my first one. And I only got that because I didn't want the smell of rotten milk anymore in my house. This is also something I need to mention. Nintendo, until the Wii, has always built a system you could break. You could, but I'd like to see it if you try. Because it took effort. Hammers had trouble. You had to break it, but then there were still ways, once it was broken, of making it work. Every other system, no.
Which one? Game Boy.
That was hard to break. Right?
I couldn't break it.
Oh no, I actually washed mine. And then it wasn't working. Because a wire from the cartridge doesn't work, so we opened up the back, plugged the wire back in, and just plugged the game into the back piece. Just play it like that. It worked. GameCube you could drop off a 2-story building, duct tape it back together, put the game in, and play.
You did drop that 2-story building. No, you don't need duct tape from GameCube. It goes back together.
No, you need duct tape for the GameCube just to make sure it stays in one shape. It would splatter. It's some.
A soldier station in Iraq had his Game Boy Color survival landmine.
And the Game Gear couldn't survive a sneeze. And the PSP couldn't survive a Sony update.
Good for ski shooting.
So is the
Mine bricked. I literally mean mine bricked from a Sony update.